Welcome, fellow adventurers, to a journey beyond the ordinary. Today, we embark on a celestial odyssey through the enchanting realms of Moonlit Journey Across Another World, a series that promises to immerse you in a world of magic, mystery, and moonlit wonders. Let's get started.
Hi, I'm Makoto Misumi, a high school archery club member with okay grades and average strength. One day, a weird goddess took me to a new world, a vast desert where there's no people or animals. I've been here for 2 nights without food, but strangely, I'm not hungry. I miss my old life and wonder why I'm here. It's really dark at night, and I'm scared to sleep deeply. I hope tomorrow brings a change, maybe meeting someone or finding food. The long nights are tough, and the second day is just like the first, waiting for morning in this strange place. I'm stuck in a big empty desert with rocky hills all around. It's been 3 days and nothing's changing. I tried using a special power the goddess gave me, but it's not working. There's no food, just some dry grass that I can't eat. I'm not feeling hungry, which is weird. The landscape looks the same, and a tall mountain in the distance never seems to get closer. I'm really hot during the day and cold at night. My superhuman body helps me keep going, but I don't understand this power I have. I hope I figure it out soon. It's a tough place, but I'm trying to keep going forward. I kept walking for 3 days, hoping for a change when I reach a mountain. It's really lonely, and I talk to myself a lot. I look back, and all I see is a vast, empty desert. I thought I might find someone or a village, but it seems that's only for special characters. Suddenly, I hear a faint voice and concentrate to listen. It's a scream. I'm really hungry, but this gives me energy. I run towards the sound, excited to see who's there. I saw a pig and a 2-headed dog fighting. Even though it's strange, I didn't care. I was just happy to find living beings. The pig seemed like an orc and was the one asking for help. I decided to help him and face the 2-headed dog. The dog growled at me, but I introduced myself and kicked at it to protect the orc. I felt strong and ready to fight. I kicked the 2-headed dog really fast, but something strange happened. I went through it, and when I looked back, the dog was in pieces. I felt bad about it and apologized in my mind. The orc, who asked for help, looked scared. I realized I could talk to it and said hi. The orc was surprised that I spoke, and I asked if it understood me. It nodded and shook its head, which confused me. I tried to assure it that I'm not strange and asked if it understood me. The orc nodded and shook its head again. I didn't get it, but I was happy to finally talk to someone after 3 days. The orc looked a bit like a human, and I was excited about having a conversation. The orc got scared because I looked too much like a human. It said I couldn't be gentle because I killed a monster with 1 attack, and I agreed it was unbelievable. The orc mumbled a lot, but surprisingly, it was calm. I tried to reassure it that I'm strong but came to help. The orc got scared again, and I did funny gestures to calm it down. I explained that I'm not dangerous and saved it because it asked for help. The orc was unsure but started to trust me a bit. Then it asked if I'm a human with a tamer, but I didn't understand. I told the orc I'm just lost and saved it, nothing else. Communication is hard, but I tried my best to explain things. The orc girl was thinking, and I was nervous. Finally, she said she understood and thanked me for saving her. I was so relieved. I asked if her village was nearby, but sadly, she shook her head. Then I wondered if she was lost too, and she nodded. We both have been lost for 3 days. I asked if she knew where people were, but she shook her head again. The orc said we are in the end of the world, a barren wasteland. I remembered the bug goddess mentioning the ends of the world. I got mad thinking she really threw me here. The orc mentioned she's on her way to a god mountain to sacrifice herself. It sounded like a mid-boss battle event. I was excited but also scared and feeling like I might have a nosebleed. The orc's girl, with tears in her eyes, shared a shocking truth. She's from a highland orc tribe that sacrifices a young girl every 6 months to a god mountain. If they don't, a thick mist covers the village and crops won't grow well. It's like a heroine flag event, and I couldn't believe it. I tried to deny it, saying it's not yet. I felt uneasy and hoped it wasn't true. Even though the orc girl seemed normal and had a pleasant smell, I hesitated. I listed all the unusual experiences I've had with different races, but insisted that dating an orc was impossible for me. I argued it's not discrimination. I just prefer human-like appearances. I was determined not to back down on that point. I had to apologize to her in advance, but she seemed confused. I tried to brush it off, and she smiled again. She introduced herself as Ime, and surprisingly, we were both 17 years old. We walked towards the body-purifying field, a rest stop on the way to the god mountain. It felt like she was making me her bodyguard. As we spoke, I realized I could understand her better, thanks to a power the bug gave me. Ime shared sad stories about her village losing young girls for sacrifices. I had questions, but I decided to think about them later. As we approached the last resting point, I wondered what to do. She's a good girl, but the flag of a serious event might stand up soon. Ime has a nice personality, and her age is close to mine. She's even the village chief's daughter. I can't help but wonder why she's not a human. Maybe she's a cursed princess from a distant human civilization. Seema points to a cave that looks artificially made and asks me to wait while she explains my presence to the people guarding it. As I wait, I think about the future. Ime is meant to be a sacrifice, and I want to save her. However, the flag of a serious event is harsh, and the strength of the enemy inside the cave is unknown. If I can get information, I plan to slip out early, defeat the Jod, and save Ime. I might disappear after that, but if I promise to save her village, she will have to return. Shen-sama, the boss Ia mentioned, might be someone I can talk to, and there could be a way to resolve things without fighting. Emma waves from the cave entrance, smiling, and it seems she succeeded in her negotiation. I considered doing a hero act even though the goddess said I wasn't needed. Following Ime's guidance, I started chanting the incantation for Brid, a basic attack magic. The language for the incantation was different from Orcish, but I could naturally understand and say the words. I refrained from using the enhancement of physical and magical power taught by Tsuki-sama, as it might cause trouble. I decided to use Brid, a fire bullet magic, and express the incantation. A flame appeared in front of my hand, resembling burning cotton. Excitedly, I exclaimed that it was magic, and Ima praised my ability to activate it on the first try. Ima then instructed me to imagine the fire as a ball and picture it impacting the target, which is the finished state of Brid. Her guidance brought me back from my excitement, and I realized Brid might involve summoning fire. With a good mood, I muttered a short area for Brid. If it's like that, then I can say I learned Brid, right? I asked Ima, who was still a bit shaken from my unexpected progress. She mentioned that she had planned to start with simple light spells and then move on to more advanced training, but I had skipped quite a few. Excitedly, I asked her to teach me more magic, and she agreed to do so later. Ima then inquired if I could now perceive magical power, and I confirmed that I could sense the flow of magical power when using magic. Ima praised my learning ability, and we discussed how I could also feel the magical power within my own body. It was an ambiguous feeling, like being soaked in water, and I was eager to explore more about magic with Ima as my teacher. Makoto felt a strange power in his body, and Ima explained it was his magical power. Ima suggested that Makoto might be good as a magic swordsman, which confused Makoto about jobs and unique abilities in this world. Ime then mentioned Makoto's level, making him think of this world like a game. When Ime showed him a paper to measure his strength, Makoto grabbed it, and the paper turned blue, surprising Ime. When she revealed his level was 1, Makoto got curious about humans, wondering about this new world he found himself in. The author notes that Makoto can understand magical words due to the goddess's power, allowing him to use magic in unexpected ways. Makoto woke up feeling the fresh mountain wind, realizing he had superhuman abilities. Despite sensing a freezing gale, he found it refreshing. Confused about his level staying at 1, he decided to head to the gate guard and wrote a letter to Ime, expressing gratitude and explaining his plan to confront the god. He learned to read and write due to his cheat-like existence. With the map Ime gave him, Makoto aimed to reach a human settlement known for rare materials and knowledge. He estimated a 1 to 2 week journey, encountering various monster settlements on the way. Despite having enough food for now, Makoto appreciated the orc's generosity and aimed to eat carefully. Makoto continued his journey toward the God Mountain, pondering the mysteries around the sacrifices and the elusive Shen. He questioned why no one had seen Shen and found the sacrificial system puzzling. His encounter with the Liz monster made him suspicious, considering they typically hunted in groups. Makoto sensed a hidden agenda, possibly a third party or internal strife among the Highland orcs. Despite uncertainties, he decided to follow this line of thinking and learn more magic to prepare for potential challenges. Eager to test his abilities, Makoto felt it was better to practice before a real fight. Makoto wanted to practice his fire magic before facing any challenges, so he created a small flame ball and successfully threw it. Feeling confident, he decided to try something new. First, he experimented with whispering the incantation in his mind. He produced a powerful crimson flame without saying the words aloud. Next, he wanted to see if he could use his magic like archery. Imagining a bow and arrow, he aimed at a gate in the distance. Sitting in a formal position, he concentrated on his technique, reflecting on his archery experiences from school. Makoto realized his unique approach to archery and how it set him apart, even though others found it strange. As he continued practicing, he understood the value of his individuality. His sensei, recognizing his potential, taught him the combat archery techniques passed down in her family. Despite the advanced techniques, Makoto stuck to his simple concept of hitting in the middle. When he became the vice president of the archery club, he focused on teaching his underclassmen until he was thrust into another world. Now, in this new world, Makoto decided to test his magical abilities further. Imagining a bow and arrow, he created a fire arrow and shot it at a Shinto-like gate in the distance. To his surprise, the arrow not only pierced the gate but exploded, causing concern for any living beings nearby. Determined to help, Makoto rushed towards the scene to assess the situation and offer aid if needed. Suddenly, as mist covered the mountain, and a dragon-like creature descended with an enraged expression. Panicking, Makoto tried to explain himself, shouting to the mist and realizing that his preconceived idea of Shin being a giant clam didn't apply in this unfamiliar world. The situation became increasingly dangerous, leaving Makoto uncertain about the possible consequences of his actions, with the Dragon Sama ready to attack him.
As we finish our time with Moonlight Fantasy, thanks for being part of this magical adventure. Look out for the next video and stay tuned for more enchanting stories. See you in the next chapter.